Living in Ireland is interesting. I moved to Dublin 3 years ago, and some things are amazing, but some things really piss me off. So let's talk about the pros and cons of living in Ireland. Every country has its ups and downs, but if you're thinking about moving to Ireland, this video is for you. I'll share the advantages and disadvantages of living in Ireland, from transportation, weather, healthcare, safety, and of course the Irish people. For context, I rent an apartment in South Dublin with my boyfriend. I don't have a car, so I commute to work every weekday, and I will share my personal struggles and what might you want to consider before moving to Ireland. I'll start with the weather. Surprise, surprise. It's rainy, unpredictable, and you can forget about real summers. I guess you already knew that the weather is not the best here. It's very unpredictable. Like in one day, it can be cloudy, rainy, windy, cloudy, rainy, foggy, sunny, and repeat. The wind here is also like next level. It can be extremely strong, especially on the west coast. And when it's rainy and windy at the same time, the rain can come from everywhere, so your umbrella has no chance.
Of course it flipped.
And better to invest in a waterproof rain jacket and shoes, of course. Luckily, we also have sunny days, but it's tricky because when it's windy, you don't feel that warm, and we never know how long the sun will stay. Like this summer, we had a period when we didn't see the sun for 11 days. The weather sometimes limits the outdoor activities, like hiking in the rain isn't that fun, and the landscape in Ireland is gorgeous, so you want to be outside. But this way, you cannot really plan in advance. And for example, last year we traveled to Connemara, which is famous for gorgeous landscapes, scenic drives, panoramas, mountains, hiking. And during the long weekend, it was rainy, foggy, cloudy, and we were just sitting in a car driving around, but we couldn't enjoy the nature. And when someone comes to visit, I always say to expect rain. And if it's not raining, it's already good. Happy days. The weather is not as bad as you think. It's not that rainy as you think. Yes, it rains. Otherwise, the grass wouldn't be this gorgeous green. But it's not as bad as you think. The winters are mild, so the temperature doesn't go under 0 degrees. I've seen snow only once while living in Dublin. And in the mountains, it can be snowy, but in Dublin, not really. The summers are not super warm, so the temperature doesn't go above 30 or 25 degrees, but at least you don't have to sweat during the summer. And honestly, I don't miss the Hungarian summers, the 35-40 degrees, because that's also not normal. But sometimes I miss wearing real summer dresses. And I really learned to appreciate the sunshine, because when it's sunny, it's just gorgeous. And we had gorgeous summer days. You just don't know when they are coming and how long they are staying. But for example, this summer, we had a week when every day was above 20 degrees. It was so nice. We also went to the beach, we went into the sea, and that time the sea didn't even feel cold. It was so nice. And when it's sunny, everyone is out enjoying the parks, the beach, so the vibes are super nice. There's a housing crisis, so it's super hard to find a place. The rent is expensive and it's very challenging to find a place for a reasonable price. So I've heard that some people get a nice job offer, but they have to decline the job because they couldn't find a place to live. First, we lived in Balbriggan, that's north from Dublin, and we lived in the house of my boyfriend's friend. And the house wasn't in the best condition, so it was also moldy and it was also cold. So during an apartment viewing, make sure to look out for mold if you're visiting an older house because it can be an issue. Later, I got a job in South Dublin, so I had to commute every day 3 hours. It was very challenging. So after 5-6 months, we moved to South Dublin. There are many newly built apartment complexes. The rents are more expensive there, but it doesn't have mold. And usually they also have a gym and co-working places. The best places to search for apartments is Daft.ie and Facebook groups, and it really depends on your preference. So you can find more affordable places further away from the city center, but then you will have to consider the traffic. I will talk about that later. And according to Daft.ie, average monthly rent exceeds 2,000 euros for the first time in 2025. On the Daft website, you can check all the quarterly reports for the rent and housing prices in all areas of Dublin and also the other counties of Ireland. And I'll put the link in the description below, and also all the links and the resources I mentioned in the video you will find in the description. I'll also share a data from the latest 2025 Q3 report. Market rents in Dublin rose by an average of 2.7% in the year of September 2025. Salaries are higher than in many other countries, so if you're in tech or any other skilled field, you will have a well-paid job and you will be able to afford a more expensive rent. And on jobtit.ie, I found a list of the average salary in Dublin, so you can browse through different fields and find your profession for reference. High cost of living and taxes. I have another video about the cost of living in Ireland where I show how much I spend during a month. And basically everything depends on your lifestyle. How much do you cook at home? How often do you go out or order food? How much coffee do you drink? Do you have a gym membership? Use public transportation or car? Things like this. So here in this video I will keep it short. And if you're more interested, you can check out the other video. I'll put the link up and down. But basically, as I mentioned before, the rent is expensive, the grocery prices are okay, and certain services and healthcare can be also more expensive. I also want to talk about the taxes because it's kind of high, and sometimes I don't know what the government is doing with my tax. Anyway, when you're negotiating your salary, you have to think about the tax because you're negotiating your annual gross income. In 2025, the standard rate cutoff point for a single person is 44,000 euros. So above 44k income, you pay more tax. I won't go into details, but you can check all the information on the Citizen Information website. And make sure to check the salary calculator website because it will tell you what your monthly income would be. Good news, the minimum wage is one of the highest in Europe. Since 1st of January 2025, the national minimum wage is 13.5 euros per hour. So that's almost 25k gross annual wage. And if you budget smartly, you can have a nice lifestyle. So I'm an architect, not the tech architect, but still I can go out to have fun, eat out, have coffee and also travel. And according to the salary calculator website, the average annual wage in Ireland is 52k, so it really depends on your profession. And at the end of the year or the beginning of the new year, you can also claim back a few taxes on the revenue website, like 1,000 euros for rent or 10 to 20% from medical expenses. Disappointing healthcare system and lack of benefits and support. Luckily, I've never been to a hospital before, but I've heard crazy stories about like hours and hours of waiting and really poor service. I only went to private facilities for blood tests or ultrasound, and there everything was okay, you just had to pay the price. In Ireland, the general practitioners are self-employed, so the system is a bit different. So for every consultation, you will have to pay to them, And even if you just want a medical certificate, you will have to pay. Usually I use an online GP system, web doctor, and with that the cheapest consultation is 49 euros. And I don't know what happens in other countries, but for example in Hungary, it's free to visit the GP, it's free to get a medical certificate, because basically they are paid from the tax you pay to the country. And I didn't have to pay directly to them. Ireland only gives you 5 sick leaves, so even if you're feeling a bit unwell, you might go to work because you have only 5 sick days, and after that it's unpaid leave, but in that case you can apply for illness benefits on My Welfare. And the other thing that freaks me out is that Ireland doesn't have a proper maternity benefit. So if you are eligible for a full rate maternity benefit, you will get 289 euros a week for 26 weeks. So in a month, you will receive around 1,200 euros, which is like enough for rent and groceries. In my opinion, women are not supported to raise a child here financially. So basically, in my case, I would have to use my savings and also rely on my partner's income. It's like, seriously? I don't get it. But I have to add that larger companies support their employees with additional compensation. The positive thing is that Ireland is a developed, safe country. So it's modern, it's full of opportunities. So if you work for a tech or a bigger company, you will get more benefits like life insurance, food, and even more holidays. And Dublin and Ireland also considered safe. For example, I feel safer here than in Budapest, especially for pickpockets. But lately, some weird things happen here. Also, people say that after COVID, things changed. Like 2 years ago, in 2023, the Luas was set on fire, people broke shop windows, stole goods, and things like that. And there are also riots, protests, everything you can imagine, stabbing in a city center. So just read the news or don't. So I'm not sure how safe it is anymore, but nothing happened to me, so I still feel safe and I just avoid bad areas. Public transportation is limited, there's no metro, and the buses can be totally unreliable. And according to Dublin People website, a single Dublin commuter will, on average, spend over 213 hours a year stuck in traffic. Yeah, the buses are slow, there are many delays, and especially in rush hour, if the bus is full, it won't stop, and then you will have to wait and hope that maybe the 5th bus will stop for you and bring you to work or home. And the same thing can happen during the night when you want to go home. The DART, the train, has many technical issues. And I think my worst experience was when we still lived in Balbriggan. And in the morning I went to work, and at one point the DART just stops because of a technical issue. And there weren't any replacement buses, so a full train of people had to find a way to get to Dublin city centre and go to work. I mean, no replacement buses. Or it happened many times that you wait for a bus for 15 minutes and then 4 buses appear at the same time. And the funny, not funny thing is that people are very loud on public transportation, and some people just don't use headphones when they are checking Instagram or TikTok. And the DART started a 100 euros fine if you're not using headphones, and I hope Dublin Bus will be also inspired by this initiative. And buying public transportation ticket is also not that easy. We locals, we have the Leap card, so we can just easily top up on the app and use it on all public transportations. But if you are a tourist or you leave your Leap card at home, on the bus you can only pay by cash, by coins, and you won't get change back. You can only pay by card in Luas and Dart station, and that's it. And another fun fact is that Dublin is one of the few European Union capitals without the metro line. But this will change. I cannot tell you many positive things about Dublin public transportation, only that Metrolink will finally become reality. The Metrolink was proposed in 2001 and it was finally granted in 2025, and in few years they'll start to implement it, and probably by 2030 Dublin will have a metro line. It will connect Swords to Ranelagh to South Dublin, and it will also stop at the airport. As a negative, I would say that Temple Bar and the center of Dublin are crowded and the pints are overpriced. I don't really like to go to Temple Bar during the weekends. Maybe I'm just getting older, but it doesn't give the same vibes anymore. It's full of people, mainly tourists. The pints are overpriced and everybody is drunk. But Ireland has so much to offer. The nature is gorgeous, and Dublin is more than pubs. It offers so much. I wrote a blog post about the top things to do in Dublin. I'll put that in the description below so you can check it out. I'll just quickly mention a few activities here. So if the weather is nice, you can choose from many outdoor activities. You can hang out in parks and gardens, the seaside. You can choose from many walking and hiking options, and you can just wander around the city and enjoy the vibes. And if it's rainy, there are also many indoor activities, immersive exhibitions, free galleries, whiskey tours with tasting, and there are also many foodie places, coffee shops, brunch places. You can choose from Irish cuisine or many international restaurants. And if you're traveling to Dublin, don't forget to go beyond Dublin. Ireland and the nature and everything is just gorgeous. Even if you just go to Hove for a day trip, that's okay. But my favorite part is the west coast, the wide Atlantic way. It's just gorgeous there. The cliffs, the viewpoints, the panoramas, the sea, and there are sheep everywhere. And the last topic is the Irish people. This might sound a bit strange, but a group of teenagers can be scary sometimes. Maybe it's just a teenager thing, I don't know. But when many teenagers are together, they can be super loud and unpolite, and they just don't care about anyone else. But otherwise, Irish people are so friendly, funny, open, and also helpful. They are just super friendly. And one of my first experiences was like we were in a very crowded pub, and one guy just accidentally bumped into me, and he was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm very sorry." And he really meant it. So yeah, and it's funny because now when I travel to another country, I always compare everything to this Irish kindness. So even if they are nice, they feel a bit grumpier than Irish people. Yeah. I hope this video helped you see why one moment I'm obsessed with Ireland and the next one I'm wondering why I live here. But everyone's experience is a bit different, and you cannot really avoid the rain, the traffic, and the taxis. So it just comes with Ireland. And if you lived here or you're planning to move here, let me know in the comments below which one was the most surprising part for you. And also tell me if I missed something. I'm also curious how your reality looks like. And if you like the video and it helped you, please like the video and subscribe. And thanks a lot for watching.